This is Sample 1 Video 2. I have continued my study on the sample of aquarium water that I gathered on May 16th and took an additional 2 drops that I studied under further magnification. During this study, I have noticed that I encountered the same specimens that I had in my previous video. This made me want to go back and correct the classifications I made earlier. In my last video, I noted that my paramecium specimen were moving in twisting circular motions. Even back then, I said this was rather uncharacteristic of them, and I was right. With these new slides, I utilized a cover slip, which allowed me to view the specimen under 40 times magnification. In this 40 times magnification, I noticed these unicellular organisms had a monotrichous flagellum, or a long, wiggly, hair-like structure on one end of their body. Due to this structure, I have now classified these unicellular organisms to be a Paranema Trichophorum. The Paranema is a unicellular euglenoid that lives in fresh water. It is a colorless phagotroph. This means it obtains its nutrients by phagocytosis, the action of engulfing its food source. These food particles can be seen through the transparent cell membrane and are what I mistook for organelles in the previous video. During the feeding process, it is necessary for the Paranema to be able to twist and deform. Here, I managed to capture the opposite of feeding. Anyways, the Paranema is able to deform and curl because of its long, wiggly, hair-like structure, which is actually the leading anterior cilium. This appendage controls the curling, rotating movements. The leading cilium is as long as the cell body and can be seen more clearly in this video, right here. In the cilium, there is a photoreceptor that allows detection of its surroundings, and whichever direction the cilium points is the direction the Paranema goes. Now that that's been clarified, I want to revisit our mystery organism from the previous video. I noted there were 2 prevalent characteristics of this unknown organism. The first was its rotating cilia at the base, and the second was its ability to very rapidly propel itself through the slide. While observing these new drops, I found a very similar, if not identical, specimen that I was able to view more in depth. Here is the unknown organism from video 1. Note the rigid appearance of its cell body and rapid moving cilia at its base. Now here is the hypotrich ciliate from the newly observed drops. I was able to observe this specimen more clearly than the last due to the lack of algae and the flatter landscape provided by the cover slip. Using 40 times magnification allowed a clearer view of the ciliate's characteristics. Due to the characteristics I've noted, I came to the conclusion it was in the family of oxytrichids. During my search, I encountered this photo provided by a database for identifying protists. I concluded the organism was a Stylonychia. The Stylonychia inhabit fresh and brackish water, where they feed on smaller ciliates. These organisms contain a row of connected cilia called cirri on the bottom of their cell body. They use these cilia to run on surfaces, however they also use the cirri to propel themselves through the water. Stylonychia are also known to remain in one spot and create a water vortex by rapidly moving their anterior cilium, which is what I believe it to be doing here. I've linked an amazing video of this vortex in the description below. Once again, at the end of my studies, this organism darted right out of my field of view, which makes me positive that it is the same genus, if not species, to the Stylonychia. I found some really interesting research to back up my claims, and I have linked those research papers down below in the description. Stay tuned for my next video. It is the final one in this series, and then I will be moving on to a sample from a saltwater aquarium. Once again, the images and research papers I've utilized for this video are linked and cited in the description.